Hey everybody, it's Mark, DoctorDeadwax here, and today's a bit of a milestone for me. I'm just gonna blather. No music, no records. If that's not cool with you, that's your warning in advance. Walk away, hit the dislike button, whatever. Today, it's brought to you by Rumble from the Great Divide Brewing Company out of Colorado, Denver, Colorado, I believe. This is a American IPA. Cheers. So today is my 1 year. I've been making videos for the VC, and more importantly for me, this is the 5th year anniversary of the day I had a stroke. And statistically, if you can survive 5 years after a stroke without having another stroke or another major heart issue, you have a pretty good chance of leading almost a normal lifespan. So it's a good day for me. I mean, I've survived the 5 years without any further incidents, and been slowly recovering for the past 5 years, still recovering, still getting back strength and things like that. So got the issue completely under control that caused the stroke initially. So life is good. I mean, life is great. I mean, there's nothing better about life than living, and I'm here and I'm doing that, so that's awesome. I've been making videos in the VC for a year, which is fantastic. Found this community, met several hundred vinyl junkies like myself, and have had the opportunity to get to know a lot of them through their videos, through interacting with them on Facebook, through even meeting up someone in person. So I thought I would just kind of make a video and talk about my experiences in the VC and some of the things I'm seeing and some of the things that might be disturbing me a little. Maybe some other people might feel the same way and not want to say anything. But I'm gonna. First of all, I left Facebook about a month ago. I never really made a video announcing I was leaving it or anything, because I'm not really, I don't think we need people being reporters or running back and forth between, so-and-so did this on Facebook and then talking about it on the VC. I just don't think that's very healthy. I think if something happens on Facebook, you can talk about it on Facebook. But people have been asking me if I'm there or if I'm not and why I left. I left simply because the group had about 400 members when I left, 425, and ultimately the reason why I left was I thought when I joined that it was people who made videos from the VC, but in actuality it's people who make videos, people who watch videos, people who have nothing to do with the YouTube side of the VC thing and are just from Facebook. I think there was, at the time, there was maybe less than 25%. There was maybe 100 people in the group that actually made videos. So initially I was interacting a lot with people who made videos, but then ultimately I was kind of interacting or not interacting as much, and I don't know, things were just diverging in a way that I didn't want to engage in anymore, and I think that's perfectly acceptable, and I see nothing wrong with the way it's kind of evolved, because there was no, a lot of what I thought was going on there was just based on perhaps misinformation, or maybe I misconstrued what it was about, but so it's not a big deal. I don't have an issue with Facebook at all. I think and a lot of people do, and that really bugs me. But I think the Facebook side of the vinyl community is a great thing. Would I like to see it implemented differently in some ways? Yes, but the way that it is implemented currently, it's working for hundreds of people. So who am I to, it's the best thing I could do was to walk away. And I did. Subsequently, after I left, some troll from the group, because it's the only thing my account was ever used for, reported me to Facebook and said I was using an account with a fake name, and Facebook closed my account because I cannot provide government ID. Or they didn't close it, they suspended it, so I still get notifications from Facebook, but I can't actually access anything because I can't provide government ID that proves my name is DoctorDeadwax. So that's why I'm not there. I was friends with about 90 video makers, and I had every intention of staying on Facebook and interacting with all of you guys and girls, but alas, that's what happened there. And I have no negative feeling towards the Facebook group or anything. That is just Facebook's customer service, administrative inability to, for me to actually communicate with somebody there and resolve a situation, because there are lots of people who use a pseudonym or a stage name or whatever on Facebook, and there should be a way for me to resolve this and get the right type of account without actually just losing it. So that's why I'm no longer there. However, saying that, there's a lot of people that, if somebody says something negative about Facebook, people jump into the comments and they just start slagging the shit out of Facebook, and they start slagging the members of the vinyl community that are participating on Facebook, and that's, that I don't think that's very good for our community overall. I think, these are our brothers and sisters who make videos, and yet we want to slag them off. And the most common justification for this behavior is a concept that Facebook has caused less videos to be made. Now, ultimately, the explosion of the Facebook group has happened since last May. And since last May, I mean, that is a downtime in the Northern Hemisphere for most people. We come out of our basements and, our depressions lift. The winter is over, the summer is here. Our families want to interact with us. They expect us to leave the house with them. And, I'm a member of 6, 7 other music and audiophile based forums that I interact on daily. I'm also someone who for the past 15 years has moderated, administered, sysopt, owned everything to do with music communities online, from way back IRC to forum and full web-based communities today. I can tell you that a decline in activity and participation is normal statistical behavior for the summer months amongst people who live in the Northern Hemisphere. And I'm sure that amongst people who live in the Southern Hemisphere, there is a statistical drop during their summer too. But this behavior is being explicitly blamed on Facebook, which is kind of just knee-jerk, reactionary, and I would say it's misinformed. So, it's just another communication tool like YouTube is. It's probably a better communication tool than YouTube is, because while you can see me here, and some people are of the opinion that this is face-to-face dialogue, this is actually just me sitting here talking to my camera and lecturing. There's no interaction. There could be interaction after I'm done speaking, through the comments or through the like and the dislike button. If I'm the kind of person that can even take that level of communication, and I haven't disabled the like or the dislike button, or I haven't disabled comments. Whereas when you're on Facebook and you post something and somebody else writes something, you can write back and forth and actually engage in a text-based dialogue with somebody that is real-time, which this does not offer. And there have been these kind of evolutions in communication technology that have been going on for like 125 years. And when people in the VC communicate with each other outside of YouTube and the PM system at YouTube, via email. Nobody ever says, oh, emails are ruining the VC and they're responsible for there being less videos. Because it's not true. And people never, when they communicate via text messages with each other, as a lot of us do, I text with several members, people never say texts are responsible for a reduction in the number of videos being made, because, you know, that's not rational. And when I talk to other members on the phone, which I do, people never say, you know, phone calls are the reason why less videos are being made. And when I Skype with other members of the VC, which I do, people never say Skype is responsible for less videos being made. And when I meet up with people in the VC in person and we interact in the same space, people never blame, you know, those kinds of communication experiences as being responsible for a reduction of videos in the VC. But if people are interacting on Facebook, that is like just this devil that just, it's not based in any kind of fact. I've been here for a year. I've been watching videos for a year and a half. Most of the people I started watching, more than half, you know, say the first 25 people I found in the VC, 15 of them are gone. None of them were ever on Facebook. So that's a huge group of my starting people that are gone. And they're not making less videos because of Facebook, because they've never been a part of it. You know, people leave, people come, they get excited, they make videos, they get really excited because they get feedback, they make tons of videos, they kind of go on a video binge, and then they pull back. And you know, for some people, they pull back and then they stop. And for some people, that experience is 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. And that's normal. That's normal kind of for all online communities, because there's kind of like a hyper evolution of communities or societies online that occurs. That's my observation, being a part of them for 15 years. They have very limited lifespans. They kind of start, and then they have an old guard, and then they kind of grow, and then everybody bitches. The old guard bitches about how everything's changing, and then there's this boom, and then, you know, bust, and then people move on to another thing. And you can see that in, you know, websites that become popular, and then, you know, 4 years later they're gone. So anyway, so it's not Facebook. I can name 50 people who I watched regularly in the past year that no longer make videos that are not a part of Facebook. Just give you a couple examples, because I'm not really here to like call people out or throw people under the bus, and I hope the people whose names I mention here, I'm not offending you. But like Frank, Mr. 66 Skulls from Quebec, I loved his videos because, I mean, he did the metal thing, which didn't really work for me, but every so often he did like these French-Canadian prog videos. And there's really nobody else doing French-Canadian prog. Chris has done one for me, Astral Traveler, but, you know, Frank would have one or two quite often that he would show and throw up. And he's never been a part of Facebook, but he's not making videos anymore. But he opened a record store, and there's something from real life took him away. And Sean Ziptie, he's another awesome guy whose videos I just loved, and I found him he was the kind of person whose videos I like to watch. He made videos about music. He was on topic. I really kind of synced with him, and he doesn't make videos anymore either. But he's not on Facebook from anything I know. He started a record store, so and I could just keep doing this, and they've got nothing to do with Facebook. But so ultimately, this vilification of Facebook is not really based in much reality. There are some people who have joined Facebook and have found that that's probably the way they want to interact with other vinyl collectors better. And those people are making less videos. But it's not that many people. And there's a hell of a lot of people making videos. I'm subscribed to about 400 people. I've had between 5,000 and 6,000 email notifications in the past year of new videos being uploaded by those people. That's a hell of a lot of content. If you find that there are less videos coming in for you to watch because people are leaving because of normal attrition and you know, getting girlfriends, having babies, losing their job, these are all reasons why people have stopped making videos. Just burnt out, getting old, getting distracted, breaking up with a girlfriend, depression, whatever. These are all reasons why people stop making videos. It's not Facebook. But if you find that there are less videos for you to watch, you know, there are more video makers than there were a year ago. Hundreds more. The pool is a lot bigger and deeper. So go and actively seek out new people to watch to augment what you had before. I know we would all like the people whose videos we love the most to continue making videos forever. But that's, you know, in life, the thing, if you've got to give up something, the first thing that's going to go is your online life. For most people, the first thing that's going to go is your online life. Because real life, you know, you need a house, you need a roof over your head, you need to work, you need a car to get to work, you know, you need all this kind of stuff. And the online world, if you have to jettison, you know, for most people that's what goes first. So stop blaming Facebook. Stop vilifying those engaged on Facebook, because that's the other side of the behavior that I've noticed, is that there's rifts occurring because people are vilifying and denigrating certain parts of our community who are just communicating with each other via one methodology that some people have demonized. And if you want this thing we have here called the VC to continue on as this kind of pretty positive space we have online right now, you know, just shitting all over comments about the people, the members who are engaged in the Facebook side of things, that's not going to build community. That's going to tear it apart. So think about that. Now the other side of the thing is, as the community gets bigger, it's going to diverge into multiple camps. And so a year and a half ago when I first started watching, almost everybody who was making videos in the VC was holding up records and talking about records, where they were talking about concerts, but they were talking specifically about music, and they might talk a little bit about their personal lives, or they might, on very rare occasions, touch upon something going on in the world outside of vinyl. That has definitely changed. For some people, you know, it's gone from talking about records to almost vlogging with a little bit of record talk. And that's fine. I mean, that's just one way this seedling, this little seed that we put in the ground that's growing up to be this healthy tree we call the vinyl community, that's just one branch that's going off. If that doesn't appeal to you, then unsubscribe from people doing that and focus on people doing what you like. You know, there's also like divergence of the cassette community or the 8-track community. Those have surfaced in the past little while. You know, there's maybe a little bit more CD talk. You know, for me personally, I'm not interested in the cassette community, or that has no interest to me. So you know, I don't watch anything to do with those videos, and I don't let them make me mad or upset or anything like that. It's just, you just gotta let that go and accept that that's just the way things are going to be. And this thing is never going to stop and stagnate and fit into a box, because, like I said, online communities almost hyper-evolve. So there's no avoiding it. Now, if you want to be like, I don't know, if you almost take like a science fiction, like hard FF and soft SF analogy, if you want to be like a hard VC where you just talk about records, then do that in your videos. Set that example, and continue to set that example, and create the libraries of content that we already have, where people do, you know, videos on just records, and they talk about their records, and they do features on psych or prog or jazz, or they create primers, or and keep it like that kind of focused. And if you want to be the kind of person that, you know, is vlogging stuff, then do that and talk about records sometimes too. It's all part of this greater community that we are engaged in. But most importantly, you know, we have to be positive, and we have to support each other. So, you know, if certain people are being too commercial in their activities in the VC, which is inevitably going to happen, and happen more often, because we're a captive market. I mean, it started kind of like with the Blake sleeves, and we've got people selling their music, and we've got people selling, you know, other products. Pretty soon people are going to start coming from the outside and marketing to us as well. So if the kind of commercial stuff bothers you, then step away from that kind of stuff, and like, again, engage in the part of the community that speaks to you. Step away from the part of the community that doesn't speak to you, and don't rage and shit all over certain portions, and continue to keep this a positive, as positive a space as we can keep it for as long as we can, because it's this great thing. I mean, you know, we can say it's a utopia, but it's not. And we could say utopia, it's a utopia 1,000 times. That's not going to make it a utopia. But when you compare it to other parts of life and society, the VC is pretty awesome. And we really don't need to tear it apart from within. So, I don't know. That's what I got to say. Sorry, took too long. But I've had a great year. I've made 52 videos. I've gone through lots of crises outside of the VC in my real life. I've come back when I can. I love that it's here. I love the people that I've met, the people that I engage with, some of them almost daily. And I just want to see it to continue to be a healthy thing. So, cheers. Have a great day. Keep the record spinning. Enter my contest. Don't be afraid to sing a lullaby. It won't hurt you.